Every season should be better than the last.
It's time for some more Overwatch League.
Fasten your seatbelt.
You guys excited?
This is where it gets out of control. Welcome to the Overwatch League. Welcome back from the break, everybody. We're live here from the Burbank Studios, and before we get into the action, I have a quick announcement to make. In light of today's Overwatch League Command Center broadcast issues, which are in the process of being fixed, count on it. We are extending the Command Center limited free trial through Saturday, February 16th. So guys, if you did go ahead and buy the pass, don't worry, they're on it. Twitch, they're awesome. Hex, we're here.
Yeah, and people smarter than us are working on issues bigger than us. But we're in the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles, no place I'd rather be. Got some great matches to get into it. We saw us on the desk yesterday, but now we're back where we belong, up in the perch, away from everybody.
This is sick, actually. The first time that we're here, everybody's like right around us too. This is a throwback and a half. And it's so much more fun to cast from this kind of position because, hey, we feed off of your energy, guys. So if you guys are hype, we're going to get hype. Everybody's going to be hype, and it's going to be sick Overwatch.
We've already had some really good Overwatch. We went to map 5 already to start the day off. We're going to debut a lot of new teams and a lot of old teams with a lot of new looks coming into it, too. I mentioned yesterday, yeah, there's 8 new expansion teams, but the 12 teams we've already had in the league have done some major retooling. So it's kind of a get-to-know-you week. I'm not sure exactly what these teams are going to look like. Is it old Florida, new Florida? We got new Atlanta. We got some regional rivalries. I'm ready to get in.
You want to get to know Atlanta?
Get to know you.
I tried. Okay, so talking about, different rosters that are getting shifted up, and, well, new rosters as well that we're all going to get to know. Atlanta, very international roster going into this match, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at their roster real quick before we hop into the action. And, well, that's the thing, Hex, going into this, it's all about discovering what these new teams look like and who's going to be locking together.
It's going to be difficult for them. There's always some language barriers when you have an international roster like this. Masa's going to be doing a lot of the calling, but they have a really interesting strategy when it comes to calling set plays. They do very much like in the NFL, where they just call a single word, and that word means a combo play. Say, mean a grab and self-destruct that we see so often. They'll just call whatever. In the NFL, it's Omaha or whatever that is. But to cut down on some of the communication issues, they've kind of devised their own language and their own code.
Well, it's fascinating with what's going on here with Atlanta is that they've chosen to bring a Viking on to the roster. Dafran is here. He will be playing. And I know exactly. We get the reaction. There we go. People are hyped to watch this guy live here at the Overwatch League.
Dafran, the man. You might not know him if you only watched Overwatch League last year, but he's a prolific streamer, a big name in the competitive Overwatch scene before Overwatch League. Decided to take a little step back, but now I think he's where he belongs. One of the most mechanically gifted players in all of Overwatch history, especially on hitscan heroes. His tracking is really up there, and he's known for pulling out, a Torb here and there. He's got some cheeky plays up his sleeves.
I'm just excited, exactly, because we are seeing, coming into this, we were thinking a lot of 3-3, a lot of tank, a lot of heavy, high HP targets. But no, we are seeing some of those mechanically gifted heroes. We are seeing the Widows come into it. And so hoping that we're going to get to see some of these plays coming in from Dafran. But, speaking of Widows, Saya player from the Florida Mayhem will be standing in his way. Saya player, we got to meet him last season. He was an absolute bonkers beast. And, well, now he's going to be here again today.
That's the play that everyone remembers. That's a map that he really broke out on, the Saya surprise on Route 66. You talk about mechanically gifted. This right there does not miss shots. Ridiculous. We'll see if they want to play him only as Widow and kind of bring him in special situations. If they're comfortable running in those kind of 3-3 situations, what Saya going to play during those times. So a lot of questions to be answered for rosters we have not seen play yet in this Overwatch League season.
It's going to be the big thing, Hex, but we don't have to wait long because the teams are now ready to walk out onto this stage. And in this case, for the first time, let's welcome the Atlanta Reign.
There he comes, leading the pack. There's Dafran, 99. Looks very comfortable. I think Atlanta's doing the right thing when it comes by their team. A lot of structural support. Everything's taken care of. All the mental health is a #1 thing they're looking into. The players need to be happy and healthy before they can be dominant.
Exactly right. We'll see how the confidence holds here going into it. The roster, though, a lot of smiles. They're all so hyped to be here. That can't be as a shock. That can't be a shock. This is at the pinnacle of this esport. Overwatch League is what it's all about, and we are going to get the Atlanta Raid here, the starting 6, to kick things off.
Also, we have to be pretty happy for Dogman. Has made a lot of contributions to the scene coming into it before Overwatch League. Well known, made his way up, really worked it. You know, that path to pro worked for Dogman. I also really love the tank line that they have. Those guys have great synergy together. Pakpo and Dako coming from as one of our minor league contenders teams.
So, they do have to play against a team. That's how it works here. Competition after all. And that team will be a veteran team with a new roster, the Florida Mayhem. And that's going to be the big thing here, Hanks. Bit of housekeeping, bit of a change going on in Florida Mayhem after that rough season last year. Florida Mayhem have gone for quite a few roster changes.
A lot of new faces on there. A familiar face towards the end there in Tavik, the master of all things. You've got familiar Overwatch League veterans as well. You saw Hagopin on that roster. They've made changes across the board. So yes, Florida has a previous record. And yes, they have experience. Brand new roster, throw it out the window. Let's start from scratch and see if they can get a win here early on. You see, you've got veterans in Hago and Zephyr who came over from other teams, and now new additions from the contender scene and BQB. Chris is a great player. Swan, I think they've added some really strong pieces here.
So you're missing the one guy, though, who stands out, Vic. And anybody who's tuned in, throughout the last season, they're going to know Tavik. He was the star player for this team all throughout last year. So what can we expect from him coming into it?
Play everything. He's the self-proclaimed best Hanzo in the world.
There we go. There we go. We're going to take a look at the map set real quick here, presented by Toyota, and we're going to be starting off on Control. Ilios is where we're going to kick things off, and Hex, for us, that's great because, Murder Hole, that's what it's all about.
I do love me some Ilios. Sometimes it gets a little sillios, if you will. People falling into holes, falling onto their death, but I like Control as a map type because it's chaotic. There's a lot of different strategies you can play. We've seen teams try to run triple tank, triple support. We've seen teams run, 5 DPS, 4 DPS. We saw Bob on this map yesterday. Everybody loves Bob. And I'm just ready to get into it. I want to see what these rosters look like, what compositions look like. Not a whole lot of history to look back on.
Oh, this is so great, Hex. So you just get to turn around, and I have the biggest screen now to watch with everybody else. This is rad. All right. I love it, guys. We're going to be getting into the match. Countdown has begun. 10 seconds on the clock. Atlanta Rain versus the Florida Mayhem. And yeah, now it's all going to be the question. What are they going to run? What are we going to break out with here to start off this league? It's been the big question mark throughout the past several months. What are these teams going to be doing? And what will the strategies look like? And so right out the gates, do we have any shockers? 20 seconds, and these teams obviously can still make some changes.
Tavik has been on brig duty lately. Atlanta Rhine mentioned to me that, yeah, they can play triple-triple. They much prefer to play DPS. So I think for the first time coming out on stage, maybe just let it loose a little bit. Give up a map stage if you have to, but let everybody play what they want to play. The cheer you hear is because at the far top left of your screen, Dafran is picking one hero we have not seen in the Overwatch League. He's on the Torb. It's hammer time.
This is it. It's happening. He's going to be looking for some nails to hammer down. Let's see if we can find him. Dafran, he's got a little grin going too. He knows what's up. He knows what's going on.
What makes Dafran a really good Torb, to be honest, is that his primary fire is so good. Yes, you have a turret, yes, you have all this, but that primary weapon, very difficult to master, but puts out a ton of damage if you can actually connect with it.
Exactly right, and it's got the 2 functions. You want to come close, turns into a shotgun pretty much, and you're going to start melting tanks, so let's see if Dafran's going to find anything to kick things off. Masa's already found a kill on BQB, but Pokpo got traded immediately.
Masa took down 2 tanks by himself, and that is going to be the opening point. Captured for the Atlanta Raid after some cleanup. Tanks coming in late there too. An interesting strategy probably caught Florida a little off guard, but Dafran and Torb go hand in hand, and now we've seen 27 out of 29 heroes played in the Overwatch.
That's truly the beauty of where the game is right now going into this season. The fact that we're seeing all of these heroes pick the variety of strategies, that's what it's all about. Not the same thing. But Dafran, he's getting close to that molten core for this next fight.
Got to give Masa a lot of credit there too. And if you see great ult tracking, it's because Masa, he's really highly regarded on his ability to keep track of how charged the enemy is and what abilities they have up.
So valuable going into this one. It's all about ult economy. The Dragons are out though as the engage comes through for Florida Mayhem. Immediately melted. Both tanks getting run over. Chris bodily mauled. And that's a very quick, clean fight here for Atlanta Rain to kick things off. team kill everybody out.
Daco was one of my favorite divas coming into this league who had not previously played in the Overwatch League. Very creative, will end up using a lot of abilities that you don't expect. A lot of diva players will fall into a similar style and they're predictable. Not Daco. He is a diva all his own.
Diva that's so key now in all of these rosters. That's what it's all about. Still pretty much the most picked hero, hands down.
Pretty high rate.
Well, let's get into it now because they are looking for a new angle here. Florida trying to go for the wrap.
Have to be careful. Molten Core's up. If they all group up, he can just drop all the lava on him.
Exactly right. Doesn't hesitate whatsoever. Dafran right now looking to do some damage. We did get a bomb going off. Swan is out of it. Trance thrown in here as well. And Dafran in the meantime will eliminate Zephyr. Still looking good here for Atlanta despite Florida's best efforts.
It's looking great here. The turret sometimes can just serve as a distraction because you have to deal with it. Dafran uses the ability to get in there. He's got Soundberry up on him, just looking for more targets, but he's out of people to eliminate.
This is so much fun. Bongos are down as well, but it is going to tick over here. Can Florida Mayhem make it back in time to tap the point?
Swan's in position.
Yeah, we have Swan in position. He's got Primal as well. Body block. I like it, and they get the kill. Perfectly done. What a sick play from Daco.
Looking to lock it out. Desperation time as Florida will throw all abilities they have. No use trying to save them for the next round coming into it. They do have some stall potential here. As Swanabe can get back, will let Primal Rage buys enough time, but all the kills are going in favor of Atlanta right now. Tavik finally takes out Dafran, gives him his first death of the round.
First death, and it's looking like Florida at the very end will be able to flip it. They will bring this back their way. Had to throw a lot into this fight, however, but we're going to see some swaps. No hesitation. One kill on Torb, or one death rather, and Dafran is going to go ahead and swap over, and now we're going to go into one of the more tried and true strategies here for Atlanta Reign.
I mean, boo. I wanted to see more terror.
Yeah, seriously.
Zarya is so important in these compositions, one of the higher picked heroes as well. We'll see if Dafran can do it. We mentioned mechanically gifted, and it's mostly his signature hero was Soldier 76, which relies a lot on tracking, as does Zarya. It might be able to translate.
Self-destruct to initiate, straight into the back, easily dodged, however. Good work coming in here from Atlanta Reign. They decide to commit the Transcendence to this fight, though. Will get traded back, fights Vic with the rally. Both support ults getting committed, and right now we're just hunting for a kill. Plenty of places to hide from that bomb, but Tavik still goes boom.
That is such a Daco Diva play. He has such creative self-destructs, usually just to get his mech back or create space. A bonus kill there later. Daco yet to be eliminated this round, has 17 eliminations, 9 final blows. What a Diva play.
Yeah, the Assassin Diva, and this is going to be taking down. We do still have a few of the Florida Mayhem in position here. Hammond into it, the hamster looking to go and flatten somebody, but it's not going to happen. And for now, they just need to keep tapping this point. They need to keep buying time. Florida Mayhem. Zephyr is here now on the point, but he's all by his lonesome. They're boosted up. He's not going to be around for long. And the overtime wick keeps burning down. But some good time bought here. And Florida Mayhem may be able to get back and just continue this fight one after another. They're just trickling in. Good focus fire coming in here from Atlanta Reign, and it is looking like they'll get a grip on things and take the advantage in this first match.
Hamster in the hole goes down, not the way to die. They need to start getting some kills. Not gonna happen. Atlanta Reign make a grand debut onto the Overwatch League stage.
There we go, man in question right there. Getting work done. There was so much discussion around him coming into this league as well. What we could expect, is he gonna be able to handle it on the main stage? But it looks like, you know, it's one point on one map. You know, we can't get ahead of ourselves, but Dafran is looking pretty good right now.
Even amongst some of the players in the Overwatch League, some of the veterans from last year, everyone was most excited to see how Dafran was going to play. He's a legend before he even hits the stage. And then the Torb, come on. Everyone loves a good Torb.
It's sick. He got, what was it before he had to swap? I think 6 final blows with it, so definitely did some work with the Torb. Swapping it around now to the Lighthouse. Quite the view.
All right, looks like Atlanta, if they leave with this, are going to run something a little bit unorthodox there. They are going to run a Pharah and Mercy, commonly referred to as a pharmacy combo, but they're dealing pain, not healing it.
And Dafran is going for the Sombra, so we'll get to see the hacks coming through here. Already infiltrating his way into the back line. The hamster gets silenced immediately, getting melted as well. Great focus fire coming through, and Dafran gets the job done on his own. There to kick off the fight for Atlanta Reign. Florida Mayhem now down a man, have to play patient. And, well, they're going to have some time to play patiently as well.
be as patient as humanly possible. And these compositions are really interesting because it's somewhat just disruption compositions. Your Sombra's going to disrupt the other team, the Hammond's going to disrupt the other team. Sombra versus Hammond, she's a nice counter because he uses abilities to get away. If you hack him, he can't use any of his abilities.
Exactly.
He just stands there wanting to get into his ball, but ends up just getting murdered. So very similar comps.
So small hands can't get in, if the door's locked. That's it. How's he going to pry that open? It's not happening.
All right, I'll
just run with it.
Yeah, I'll buy it. So some sort of cartoon hamster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You ever seen them in the plastic balls? Whatever. So they can't get it. You have to put the hamster in. All right, so no, it was Dafran really finding that choice target right off the bat. Yeah. So Dafran, I'm glad to see that he's just hit the ground running here going into it with all of the considerations, the questions going into this match to start. But so far, great work from him. Yeah, he did get the 5 final blows on Torb as well.
It's going to disappoint.
Dude, he's just doing work.
It's going to disappoint people at home that he does not have any hammer kills. The ultimate humiliation in Overwatch is to kill someone with your hammer as Torb. You get put on a list, I heard, if you die to a hammer against a Torb. But that one death came very late, then he just swapped off of it, got a lot of work done. And I actually like Torb on some maps because the turret, it doesn't do a ton of damage, but it's got nearly infinite range, so it's always kind of poking away, building up your ult. And then you got to go deal with it. It's a distraction while Dafran's on the other side coming around with his, rivet gun.
Exactly. It's just if you can master the rivet gun, you pointed it out, but that's the big thing. It deals so much damage, but it's really difficult to hit that projectile. So.
It's one of the trickiest weapons to use in the game. It's got a strange fall off, a strange arc. It doesn't necessarily feel like anything else, but hitting those long range ones on a headshot, you can just eliminate people. We're back into it.
Yeah, we're back into it. It's looking like we have the far out going on for Florida as well on the other side of things with Vic going for it, but it will be Atlanta picking up control first on the map. So a little bit of a hiccup there. We got through it. And now Florida have to center themselves here to get the job done and keep their hopes alive on this first map. They're trailing by 1. And it's a best of 3 on this map. So let's see. Atlanta Reign right now just perfectly content to sit and wait.
Florida got off of their own Pharah, which was one of their best options against the opposing Pharah. So right now, Ursa's going to be largely uncontested. So they might want to have to play indoors under a roof where justice can't reign from above.
Bit of a frustrating position right now for Florida. We already have the EMP online now for Dafran, so he's going to move his way back to the point, and if Florida commit, they're all going to get silenced, so it's a touchy spot. Mercy there to keep the Ana alive for the Reign, and so far it's just the tit for tat, back and forth. EMP thrown in. Good dodge coming in from Florida, but they still get a kill, and without the hamster, they're not going to be able to push this fight, Florida.
It was just about a solo EMP from Dafran, but he saw the target right away, and that's a guaranteed kill onto a Hammond.
Exactly, we've seen it before. But Sombra already with BQB. See if he's going to be able to find an angle to work with. Working on that EMP of his own. Erster, he's got the barrage. There's the target. Perfectly done. Gets the 1 and even gets out alive. What a play.
That was beautiful reaction time. He gets the first kill, then the D.Va comes in to try to block it off. Yep. You'll take your own damage from Rocket. So if he keeps aiming at that D.Va there, he's dead by his own hand. Turns away, gets great healing from his support, stays alive, and now 1 fight away from taking their first map.
Looking fantastic so far, the Reign. Dafran gets caught out, however. But on Sombra, you can sprint your way back into the fight pretty quickly, so it shouldn't be the end of the world. We still have Mercy Wings online here, as well as a self-destruct, and yep, Masa not wasting any time at all.
Preemptive pop.
Preemptive, that's the word, yeah. Preemptive Valk is popped.
He's tracking ultimates, and he knows that the EMP is going to come online, so he wants to use it before he loses it. BQB, well regarded for his Sombra play as well, but he goes down after EMP. It looks like Atlanta has the numbers to bring it back.
Yeah, that's Vic doing the best he can here, but there isn't a whole lot that he can hope to do. Just trying to buy time and keep them active on this point. Soldier in play here on Hagafun, just trying to sprint his way back into this fight as quickly as possible. But again, Atlanta doing a great job of just focusing Florida down immediately as soon as they show themselves, and Atlanta will take the lead in this series. First map goes to them.
I think it's everything you hoped for if you were an Atlanta Reign fan. You wanted to see Dafran play, you wanted to see him on the Torbjorn. We'll see what they have in map number 2 after the break.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Join T-Mobile and score $20 to the Overwatch League shop on February 19th. Download the T-Mobile Tuesdays app so you can respawn this season in all new gear.
All right, welcome back, everybody, from that break. Atlanta Reign currently in the lead, up 1-0 versus Florida Mayhem.
Yeah, it was, again, everything you wanted to see from Atlanta there. Florida, still some questions. Not necessarily the synergy you're looking for. They seem like EMPs didn't happen. There wasn't a follow-up, maybe some communication issues. But overall, I think I just want to give the credit to Atlanta more than Florida.
You want to give the credit to Dafran, Hex. Don't lie.
I kind of want to give it to Devo, but like I like you know, you like all the glitz and glamour. I like the meat and potatoes. Get it done. You know, offensive linemen need love too, and that's exactly what Diva does.
There you go. She does everything. That's what you're saying. Exactly. I mean, Dafran did really manage to step up, though. So I'm glad to see that. We're seeing this team kind of gel right off the gates, and that was going to be a question going into it, given the diversity in this roster in terms of where they're all coming from. Communication could be an issue, experience, just how they see the game. It seems like they have had time to gel going into this first match.
Yeah, they seem like they've had it figured out when I met with them as well. And I mentioned Masa and his ultimate tracking, and you saw it there towards the end. And ultimate tracking, just keeping an eye on how much healing the other team's doing, how much damage they're doing, what do they have ready to use? And he knew that Sombra on the other team had done enough work that EMP was going to be ready. That's why you saw Valkyrie come off at 95%. It's a good time to use it anyway if you think you're going to win the last fight. But it's so that you can use it, so you don't get EMP'd and you have everything at your disposal.
So here we have it. Already going to be one sub coming through. Dogman getting subbed out for Kodak.
Kodak representing Germany, I believe. And here comes Gator. If you're familiar with our contenders lineup for the Overwatch League, then you're familiar with Gator, an ultra-aggressive tank. I don't know if he knows how to put his shield up. He does once in a while, but really likes to swing away at it all. He can still, I believe, play for the contender teams. We have two-way contracts here, but I think they have plans for him in the main roster.
It is one of the developments now in terms of getting more experience for contenders players if you need them.
Right.
But this whole right now, a lot of these matches is going around that Rhine, is going around the shield. He's gonna have to keep it up, for a little bit at least, Hex.
Yeah, and I think they're subbing him in because they want to get him experience, of course. But our next map is going to be Hollywood. You generally see a lot of Rhine play early on in Hollywood, especially. And there we go. That will be our next map. And you know what? In actual Hollywood, the sun has not been out very much lately, so I'm happy to go to a Hollywood where the sun is always shining.
Are you just gonna live vicariously now through this map?
It's been like 5 days without sun. I moved to Los Angeles, everyone's like, the weather's great. And I'm like, I don't know, here's my umbrella. What's up? What's up?
I can't even complain, though, because I call my friends back in Stockholm and, like, oh, it's kind of cold out here, guys. And they're just like, shut up. Yeah. Shut up right now.
I mean, I was in Wisconsin for a month. It's not bad out here. It's a little bit better.
This is it, guys. You see it, the fly-through once again on this magnificent screen in this magnificent arena. We are here live from the Blizzard Arena in Burbank, where it is currently getting rained on. But in here, we're nice, we're warm. And we're hyped because we're getting into the second match now. Atlanta Reign lead 1-0 over Florida Mayhem. Florida looking to redeem themselves here. And while Florida was a team that struggled mightily in the last season, so going into the season 2019, they do have a lot to prove.
New season, new Florida, not a whole lot of holdovers from the last roster, a complete rebuild. And they do still have some veteran presence, and they added some. I like the way they rebuilt this team, but the results are going to have to pick up. Otherwise it is going to seem like same old Florida.
No Torb to kick things off this time, Hex. Are you disappointed?
Yeah.
You can't always have hammer time.
I would have liked some Soldier 76. I want to see all 29 heroes. We're only missing 2 so far. We got a lot of different heroes in yesterday. This used to be a very good Soldier 76 map. Set up a cafe, have a latte, rain some Helix missiles on people.
Write your novel.
Yeah, working on that novel. Well, Atlanta, that's the composition they are going to be running. It is a triple variation. That's what they're going to put on defense. We'll see if Florida wants to peak this. They want to go something different, if they're going to switch into it. And it looks like they're going to at least roll out for now with a Pharah Mercy combo, try to rain some damage. A disruption composition. You've got a Sombra to disrupt. You've got a Hamster to disrupt. You want to throw a wrench in the plans of Atlanta.
Exactly right. Atlanta themselves going for the 3-3 sort of strategy. They're going to be looking to stick together. So with this disruption strategy, you can kind of, if Atlanta for a moment even decide to split up even a little bit, 3 on one side, 3 on the other, they can get forced in. The wedge can go running right into them, or Swan can just drop the hammer right on top of them from here on the balcony as well. But Atlanta doing a good job right now of sticking together That's what this is key. Atlanta Reign, so long as they stay together, it should go their way.
Yeah, until the EMP comes, and then you have to track that and try to not all get EMP'd at the same time.
Sure.
But Hammond is so good at just taking attention and taking resources. Gator swings, finds BQB, that Sombra's down and not charging. Dying at 71, you would really like to get that to a full ultimate before dying. Obviously, dying's never ideal, but Florida still gonna wait, charge some ultimates, and we're gonna enter into the ultimate phase of the game.
Exactly what's going to happen, as we already have Dafran nearly up to 90% on that grab. This is going to be so important here for the hold. Gator not quite on the shatter. Those are the two big ults that we're trying to keep an eye on here for Atlanta Reign.
They're going to have a barrage as well, trying to get a lot of damage, and the grab does come out on the low ground. Only grabs the Hammond, almost got away.
He's so close that it doesn't matter at the end. Great control there from Gator to charge him down, not let him escape. Zephyr gets picked as well. And another solid hold here for the Atlanta Reign. And once again, now they have a couple of big ults on their side as well. Sound barrier for Masa. Kodak has the trance. These two support ultimates going to make all the difference.
Okay, well, Chris just used his Valkyrie to stay alive. I don't think he's going to swap. I think they want to give this Pharah another go. And those support ultimates aren't going to mean much if they get EMP'd. Can't use anything when you're EMP'd. Now, the mind games come. Can Kodak transcend and before EMP hits him? There's a small window where you hear a decloak.
Looking for it, not gonna find it. There's the combo to Vic, reining it in with the barrage from on high, but we do have the trance going off here. Couple of players still alive for Atlanta Reign, 4 of them still in this fight. Gator gets silenced though. He's gonna be a high value target and he will not survive. Florida Mayhem looking like they will power through here and pick up the first point.
Put down into the corner, they'll clean up the rest of those kills, and great patience displayed by Florida. The first fight didn't go exactly how they wanted, but they knew what their strategy was. The strategy was EMP into barrage, and then kill everything else that remains. They still hold a Transcendence in their pocket. Zephyr's got self-destruct ready to go. Atlanta did not have to use a whole lot there, so they're looking at a lot of ultimates online for themselves. Usually you want to be kind of reactive with some of these ultimates, but they're in position where they can go ahead and probably use one of these tank ultimates to initiate a fight because they know the other team just swapped and won't have them up.
We have been seeing that a lot from the Divas. It's looking like there's going to be one from Zephyr though, chucked into the back line, not going to find it. Shatter thrown in by Gator, and there it is. The combo leads to 2. Chris is gone, Swan as well. 2 big kills here for Atlanta Reign to kick off the fight. And they're going to put a halt to the Florida advance immediately, looking to stagger this out as long as possible. Masa, well, he gets robbed. It's going to be BQB going down to Erster.
Well, it's very in vogue nowadays to hold right outside your enemy's spawn door, but the team that really invented it years ago in Overwatch was a team called Selfless. The Atlanta coach comes from Selfless, and Dafran comes from Selfless as well, so they are very familiar with sitting right outside your enemy's gates.
It's their turn to get the latte, right? It's going to take a little bit. They're not going anywhere, taking the fight straight to them. Florida under pressure right now. But Atlanta, the key to this is not overextending. You can see them backing up, trying to stay around these shields. You do not want to get caught out, because if one of you goes down, things could get dicey for your team. So Florida now have to figure out a way to get through this choke point. That's the name of the game now.
Atlanta's got to be a little bit patient. They're really close to having some really important abilities online. Graviton, as you see Dafran trying to chunk away there too. And now it's just the dance of the triple-triple.
There it is, grab straight into Fran. Point blank, looking for the follow-up. Trance has been thrown out from both of the Zenyatas, however, and we will have very few kills to follow up on the grab. BQB fully charged, he's got a grab of his own. Rally's thrown in, this is where it can get chaotic. This particular matchup between these two rosters now is just ults getting thrown in left and right, looking for the follow-up. BQB point blank, and the monster self-destruct.
But they better have won that fight because they grabbed and then shattered and threw in self-destruct. Those are enormous resources to be committing, but they knew that they had the advantage based on what Atlanta had used last time, and that's where the micro game of triple tank versus triple tank really comes in. What do they have? What do we have? If they go X here, do I put O here? It's kind of the strategy game, order of operations. I mean, there's too much math involved for my taste. You know, I prefer just someone shooting at the other person ahead across the map, but there is a lot of intricacy involved in these strategies.
BQB doing a great job of staying high on energy. That means more damage for him. Sound barrier has been thrown in here as Atlanta Reign look to take the fight. Very aggressive play coming in here from Atlanta, and Gator gets overwhelmed despite the shield. Zacko throws the self-destruct just to try and buy a little bit of time, but it's not going to pay off, and Florida getting so close now to capping the second point. Minute on the clock.
don't know where Dako is. I think he might still be out of mech. I don't know if he remeched or not. No, he got in there. Okay. Now they're going to have a chance to get back in. Graviton at the ready. So close. Half to contested here.
Yeah, great play there from Dafran. There's it is, going in the grab. Not quite finding it. Gator does get the charge onto Vic. That support and, well, the control that comes with Brigitte being backed out. And so Atlanta Reign coming out ahead in this fight by the looks of it. 40 seconds on the clock for Florida Mayhem to regroup.
Last chance for Florida to take second point here.
Great job from Dafran there. He notices the positioning on Zephyr. Oh, you can't actually matrix this. I'm just going to go ahead and start it off with the grab, and we'll see how it goes from there. That's it's like the game within the game for these Zaryas. Where is the Diva? Is D-Matrix up? Can I throw in my grab, or is it going to get eaten?
Well, as long as Kodak and Erster stay alive and are able to use their support ultimates to keep their team alive, Transcendence and Rally, this should be a hold for Atlanta. However, Florida's coming in with the opposite. They've got both tank ultimates, and Zephyr is nearing another self-destruct.
This is it, the big push. Need to get a presence on that payload as quickly as possible. BQB, from his point of view, waiting for that grab, and he's gonna go ahead and hide it. Sucks Atlanta right into the mix. Do they manage to get the combo? Not this time. Shield is up from Gator, negating it, and now it just turns into a bit of a chaotic free-for-all here. Dafran falls to BQB, but Atlanta's still trying to keep together, still trying to stick it. It's not gonna happen though. Gator gets overwhelmed. This might be the opening here for Florida, but the sound barrier getting thrown in by Masa to buy more time.
Clutch sound barrier to make him just hit Rally, and there's the bomb that might just seal it. The reinforcement distance going to be much easier for the Atlanta Reign. Florida back to the drawing board as they are stopped in the street space of Hollywood.
Solid work here from Atlanta. It's on Florida to turn it around in a few minutes after the break. This is it. Now we find out if Florida Mayhem can get the job done. They have to hold. Atlanta Reign looking very good right now, looking solid for their debut on the stage here at the Overwatch League. So looking forward to seeing more play from them. Dafran in particular doing great work, but the rest of the team, we were just talking about it during the break, Hex. It really does seem like right now, on Atlanta at least, the support players are on top of their game.
It's been very impressive from Kodak, who just came in for this map. Masa's been in all game. They seem to really know what's going on before it happens. We'll see if Florida can mount a good defense here. It seemed like early on they've got BQB on the high ground. He had a very good average charge on Zarya the last game that he played a little bit on. And lately the strategy is to put your Zarya on the high ground against a triple, because there's not a whole lot of things that can shoot up at her. She can just rain damage down, charge that Graviton very quickly.
Yeah, bubbles going out, as you can see from Dafran. Just trying to charge up that energy. Maintained around 50%, 55% throughout the first half of this map. So that means quite a bit of damage that he's able to crank out.
Giving shields to your teammates and yourself is a delicate dance, because you want to take damage so you can get charged. You want to save them a little bit. The other team, do you want to shoot at it? Do you want to not shoot at it? In the chaos of triple brawl, sometimes you're just going to have fully charged Zaryas.
Oh, you can see the shift now. The dance Florida Mayhem, they're just trading places, although one of them, Swan, gets knocked down to the low ground, but his team will quickly follow. They need to stick together here, but a lot of damage taken. on Florida Mayhem. Hagopan has got his trance up so quickly, though, so this will make a difference when it comes to this fight. Trance gets committed in. Hagopan trying to keep his team alive as they make their way forward. Dafran should have his ult online any second now. That grab could turn it, and we'll see if he decides to commit it immediately or not. There it is, hiding it behind the car, trying to get some damage in on the follow-up. Swan eventually goes down, dies at the hands of Dako. And there it is, the cleanup for Atlanta Reign.
Used to beat there a little late, maybe want that one back, but you also want to guarantee that you have victory. And now they've taken first a little bit faster than Florida did. Allows them a little more time, probably a couple extra chances at breaking the stronghold on second point. Again, they only need to push further than Florida did. They don't have to complete the map, and they will go up 2-0.
Yeah, the rectangle victory, that's what they're looking at right now. 3 ults online here as well. The big shatter could get countered by Florida Mayhem's tank Swan on the Reinhardt with the shatter of his own, though. So big key ult online here for both of these teams. Florida, Tvik decides to just commit the rally in, but Urst was going to be there to counter it, and there's the shatter. Catches Swan with the shield down, and this could be big. Swan, great healing from his teammates, keeping him alive, and eventually 2 kills come through for Florida.
Tvik capitalized on a moment in which he saw the team split. There was only half of them, and then the other half had taken the high ground. Uses the rally, which gives a little bit of speed boost as well as armor, goes in there, starts swatting away, and then the alt exchange. Florida just a more cohesive unit during that fight, able to take that one.
Solid initiate off the back of Tvik, despite the good shatter, but the healing to keep Swan alive despite the focus fire. Great work there from the Florida Mayhem backline. The supports keeping their tank up, and now Atlanta going for more here. Dafran has got the grab, looking for the angle. There's the shatter, though. Trance is out, however, trying to counter it. They are surviving for now, although I spoke too soon. Dafran, the focus fire is there. They don't have to worry about the grab now. Florida Mayhem decide to throw the sound barrier into this fight. Perhaps just a bit too much, as already Atlanta Reign backing off.
I think they throw the barrier into that fight because they know where their other support ultimates are. They're going to have Rally up, they're going to have Transcendence up, it's fine. And that's a nice play by Tvik to shut down Dafran. The Transcendence probably came in from Atlanta, hoping that we're going to keep Dafran alive, or we're going to grab up the back of this. Tvik made sure that plan was all for naught.
Just got rid of him immediately. Well, okay, right here. Catch him out. Swan getting taken for a ride. No healing him that time. Perfect work, and this could be the opening here for Atlanta to start making some serious progress on this payload.
You really don't want to lose your Reinhardt first in a mirror matchup of triple-triple. You need that shield up, and that's just a great play to open things up. They will get a lot of free push, and Dafran trying to take the high ground, the slow elevator, as it were. Because, again, you put the Zarya on the high ground because who's going to shoot at her? There's no one who can do anything to her unless you want to rotate up there with your diva, maybe pressure it down, but it's a very popular position in strategy these days.
Yeah, that would be it. Really costing them in the end forward, getting a little ahead of themselves. Let's see if they continue here, as we already have Gator getting boosted in. Self-destruct used to initiate. This time it works out. BQB is gone, but Zephyr trades it right back. We lose Gator on the side of Atlanta. Sound barrier, not quite there for Masa. And well, already Florida finding some kills. Not quite, they do get backed out. Dafran and Dako, the ones turning it around, and things are looking grim now for Florida. Just like that in the blink of an eye, Atlanta turning it around.
The brawl behind the jail has defined Hollywood these last several of days. Dafran is going to come in on cleanup. Desperation time for Florida as they're just coming in. Last second trying to throw bodies onto this cart, but one by one they will fall to the right side of the kill feed. A grab onto BQB, and it is all Atlanta Reign. Tvik is going to do his best, but Brigida's good. She's not 1v5 good.
What a performance from Atlanta so far. 2-0 in maps. Excellent work, just looking more cohesive as a team right now. Better ult play, and it all bears out. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll have the halftime show after that.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.
Blizzarino, we are back. We are live in California. We're staying out of the rain, and we're watching Torbjorns on our main stage. Welcome to the halftime show. It's Puckett. We've got Zoe. We've got Monty. The best mustache in the business is with us right now. Monty, we got a lot of clips to go through, so let's jump right into it. Talk me through what you were thinking when you saw Dafran take the stage.
I mean, is there anything more appropriate than Dafran playing Torbjorn to kick off his Overwatch League career? You absolutely love to see it. And, you know, this is a player that came in known for his mechanics, but without the maximum amount of experience at the professional level. But I think he really showed off here in this game.
And so it wasn't just Dafran. Erster making his presence felt over on the far. What were you liking about Toronto right out of the gates?
Oh, Dako really impressed me. Dako had a lot of fantastic diva play, just like I announced earlier, just to bring it back to me being right, you know, like this one.
True.
But no, Dako has been playing absolutely fantastic. Generally, this team has looked very, very strong. So I'm very interested to see how Mayhem is planning to come back from this.
I mean, I think the issue with Mayhem that really, as somebody who predicted them to win this match, sort of disturbs me, is that they're coming in to the game 2, and they're playing against a two-way player in Gator. And if they're not winning those maps, you got to be, I think, super concerned.
Got to be a little bit worried about that. You also need to be worried when your opponent is comfortable running Torb. Let's take a look a little bit deeper here at Dafran from our first game.
Okay, so he rolled straight out of the gates with that Torb pick, and if it's any map you can do it on, it would be Ilios on Well. And this clearly shows that they have been practicing it. They knew exactly what they were running. They managed to get all the way to 99 to 0% on that very map with that Torb. Dafran only died one single time and then switched over to Zarya, so that was an overall fantastic performance.
I like it a lot. Well, we saw a lot of Sombra play coming in. Dafran making those headshots connect, but when we look at the numbers here, Monty, let's dive deep. How did the Sombras compare when you look at Florida Mayhem versus the Toronto Defiant?
I mean, I think Zoe has a lot to say about the Sombras.
Actually, yeah, no, I got super excited there. So basically what we saw throughout the whole thing was that Dafran completely outplayed him on every single account. We see the obvious ones with hero damages, but what we really wanted to look at is that he had uptime on his ultimate being charged double the time of BQB. So he got his ult charged twice as fast, and they had that EMP ready for every single team fight.
I think it also says a lot, too, because BQB is coming in as a player that really knows how to play Sombra. That's how we were hyping him up coming into the match, and he got pretty comprehensively outplayed. A little bit, you know, more similar, though, in terms of those Zarya statistics coming in. So at least BQB seems to have shed some of those nerves heading into that second map. But it's going to take a lot for Florida to win this one, and honestly, Atlanta looking super strong so far.
Excuse me, I said Toronto earlier because I was thinking Florida's in a similar situation as Toronto. So let's talk about this comeback for the Mayhem. How do they make it happen?
I'm not sure, like I said, that they can at this point in time. I think Atlanta ran a weaker lineup in that second map, and I think it was still relatively convincing. So Florida Mayhem, I think they need to pick up some of these strats. BQP actually needs to pop off on that Sombra instead of getting outplayed by Dafran, and they've got to really, I think, put some of these strategies together because it seems like they're all over the place in terms of their coordination.
Zoe, give me one player to watch. I always do this to you. If you're a Mayhem fan, you're in Florida right now cheering on your team. Who is the player to look up to right now?
I mean, just like he said, BQB, he needs to step it up. I want to see him actually outplaying the opposition on the hero which he will be playing in the next map.
All right, she knows something secret. We're all going to find out, though. Game 3 is coming up on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're only halfway through the day. We'll be right back.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
All right, welcome back from the break, everybody. We're live here from the Blizzard Arena for the second half between these two teams. Atlanta, as you guys can see, up 2-0 over Florida Mayhem, who seem to still be trying to figure out how to answer this new roster.
Just looks a little bit uncoordinated. I mean, Atlanta doesn't look like everything's crisp, but they're just overcoming it somehow. I mean, just we got some stars on the uprise. Like Dafran, there were a lot of questions about him coming into the league, right?
Yeah.
He's a great player, ladder monster, has had some issues with teams in the past, but seems to be much happier in a better place right now. And happiness leads to domination, apparently.
Exactly, positive. You're 31% smarter, I think, when you're happy. Well, I don't know how it goes. Let's get into it. You see, clearly I'm not happy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
is that why it's so dumb?
I'm struggling. Dogman will be back. Dogman shoving in for Kodak. Already getting into the groove. He's comfortable. Look at him in his element.
The team as a whole seems very, very comfortable and has a lot of fun. Here's another substitution. Buckbo coming back in for Gator. So played very well on the first map. Get everyone getting into it. If you can get everybody some experience and also get some wins, gotta be happy with that. And Layers subbing in for Daco. I talked about how loose this team was. Apparently he makes some very odd noises, reminiscent of a duck during scrims. Keeps everyone loose and chuckling.
So he ate a lot of Mexican food before, a lot of beans. Getting into that
No,
practice room with him
with
must
his
be
mouth
rough.
like a
Must
duck.
be rough.
Come on.
Oh, so he's stepping on ducks? Okay, I got
PG,
you.
man. Come on, let's go.
What do you mean? Fart jokes.
We're gonna go to Volskaya up next. Atlanta up 2-0. If they win Volskaya, they will take the set as we go forward. And with the substitutions they made, I think they might run several DPS. I hope they run several DPS.
I want to see more DPS. This is the what's going on though with these teams is that you have to play at a superior level if you're going to run a lot of damage dealers up against these 3-3 comps. The 3-3 comps afford a lot of room for error. High health targets make it so that you can kind of run around and make some mistakes. If you're running damage, you make a mistake, you're dead, and then it's tough to come back from that in the ult economy game. So, going into it, let's see how it's going to shape up here at Atlanta Reign. We got a little bit of time here on the setup.
Yeah, but you can always read off the defense. Once they've left spawn, we can figure it out. Now the offense always gets the last second chance to figure things out. So defensively, it does seem like Dafran's going to go on to yet another hero here. You've got a Widow in the mix, you've got a Sombra, you've got a Tracer. Widow Tracer has always been really good. Now you throw Sombra into it. You've got a couple of different healers. So Atlanta running something really interesting. We'll see if Florida wants to counter this with a bunch of DPS of their own.
Seems like it. You may get your wish, Hex, at least initially. Probably not.
No.
It's looking like it is going to change. I saw the soldier there. You're getting your hopes up a little bit, but Hago's going to go for the swap.
A scouting Symmetra. They toss the teleporter on the roof, take a quick peek, and then we'll readjust their lineup accordingly. So they're going to run at Sombra, and I agree with our halftime show. The BQB Sombra is something that we knew him for as a player and was underwhelming thus far. Let's see if there could be the redemption tour for our hacker.
There's the question. Swan already taking quite a bit of damage. Has to be careful. He's going to get caught out. The friend doing the damage. BQB, however, looking. He's going to get spotted out, though, just putting him on notice. Busy hacking all the packs. We're trying to, at least. He's got to wait for that one to wear off.
So they're just going to wait it out here a little bit. Try to reset. Sombra's in the back line, and one of the valuable things about Sombra is she's invisible, and so she doesn't have to really commit to anything, and she can give her team a ton of scouting information.
So it's Vic a bit out of the party there, as you saw. Had to forward back. We will have to sleep onto Swan, though, so that's going to slow things down just a little bit here for Florida. He's back into it. Never mind. Zephyr with that nade. Hagopun and Zephyr stepping in, finding 2 big kills here on the defense. Erster wins the duel versus BQB, however.
Well, this should be just about over because those first 2 deaths were support heroes. Losing 2 tanks is bad, losing 2 DPS is bad, losing 2 support heroes when you only have 2 support heroes is the absolute worst. So those 2 deaths on a really well-coordinated attack will signal that Florida will take this first point.
Yeah, that bio nade goes down, just makes it so difficult to survive the coordinated push coming in from Florida after that. So Florida, very quick time here. Solid work, 2 minutes. Now up to 6 minutes on the clock here for the assault going into the second point. So let's see if they can keep it together. They have a couple ults. They'll have Hagopun's Nano Boost online here going into it.
What's really interesting is the Bionade not only lets you not be healed, it does damage by itself. So Hagopun nearing a Nano Boost, going to give somebody some invulnerability or some, at least decrease damage. And I don't know who they're going to combo this with. It very likely will go on Swan. You want to nano your Winston? There it is.
Yep, there it is. Perfect. Chucks himself in there. EMP gets thrown out immediately. However, trying to slow things down, get some control here for Atlanta. And Swan not really able to just go pouncing into the backline, had to back off just a little bit. Now gonna go ahead and put some pressure out, but immediately put to sleep.
Sleps, now hacks. Tavik does get a kill though, and Swan awakens from his slumber angry. Hagopin's had a very good honor round, and they have woken up on this composition. Looks like they're gonna get at least 2 ticks, 66% of permanent progress.
This is it. And now Atlanta has to try and bide their time, wait for guys to rotate back in. Mines are out now for the hamster, but the kills keep rolling through here for Florida Mayhem. They're looking solid at this point if they can keep him out. They only have half a tick to go here to pick up a very good time on the second point of Volskaya. And the Primal helps so much. You just block him at the choke and knock him out. And Florida with a very quick time here.
That was as impressive as Florida has looked all set so far. They take Volskaya in very short order. Hagopin played really well. We'll see if they can repeat in the second half of the map when we get right back here.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from the break, getting into the second half of Volskaya. Now Atlanta Reign swapping over to the offense. Florida Mayhem on the defense, and Florida with some excellent work going in out the gates this time around. Atlanta seemed to be, I mean, perhaps with all this constant roster changing, here's a combination that may need to have a few of the kinks worked out still.
Hey, you've got a 2-0 lead, you might as well take some chances here, but it's also a very valid strategy on Volskaya to as much attacking power or defending power as you may like. But Florida, nothing short of a dominant run. Finally, some signs of life if you're a fan of the red and yellow right there. 14-2 as far as kills going in favor of Florida that last half.
Well, quick scouting run there by the Atlanta Reign. And look at this, Hex, Dafran. Do we get to see more sim play? Because we saw some sim yesterday on London.
You gotta find some way to get out of here. I think it's just scouting.
Yeah.
Looks like they're gonna go to a 3 support, 3 tank composition. That's what I say. That's what I mean when I say triple. Or let's go to in and out, do animal style.
These guys are going to be colliding into them like a group of beasts. And there's the hack. Okay, so already starting things off. BQB getting his presence, letting him know that he is here, but they are still moving together. Atlanta Reign as a group, solid work here as a unit, and now they're on the point. But Florida Mayhem not going to let him get comfortable. Immediately trying to put the pressure on, but that ends up costing him. Chris gets blown up, and that's the Lucio out of the fight immediately.
That's going to hurt, and now you lose your main tank. It is 4v6. Florida's going to need a miracle to pull it off. Unfortunately, they only get 1 kill from BQB. Atlanta walks on the point, will reign supreme. Haha, gonna do that all season. And they take first point with ease, moving forward. And like we all know, Dafran's a very good DPS player, but we talked about he's known overall for his tracking. There's 2 kinds of aim. There's flicking, really rapid movements and go from one place to another, and tracking, keeping your crosshair on somebody for a long period of time. He's known as a tracking god. Zari is a tracking hero. It's definitely translated.
Seeing it play out now as he is already on point. There's the EMP, however, so that's going to slow things down. Swan finding the kill on Pokepo is pretty much going to mean that Atlanta have to back off. bit committed to this fight here from Florida Mayhem, although Zephyr's got the self-destruct coming online here for the next one.
It's time.
Key thing is that Dafran has got the grabs.
It's time to go home and reset there. Florida did a really nice job of holding that one off. They do have Grav coming up, so next fight you can anticipate a Graviton, perhaps a Shatter if they feel they need the double follow-up. But in 3-3 compositions, you're looking for the Graviton into the self-destruct, and then you want to displace the shield. The shield will block the self-destruct. There's a lot of ways to do it. You can use a Lucio displacement to knock him in the air. You can try to charge him with your own Rhine, but that's the money combination that wins you fights, especially on assault maps where you have to be so perfect on your last assault.
Wow, Grav just thrown right in there. They want to remove the Ryan immediately. See if it pays off. No self-destruct kills there for Zephyr to kick the fight off, but Pokemon gonna find Tavik. Swan hanging on by a thread, but he's got some support. The Shatter gets thrown out of his own. Dafran is out of the fight. That's a lot of damage for Atlanta Reign. No longer a threat. Swan still, they can't seem to kill this guy. Although as I said, he gets roped off the side. Masa finding him eventually.
Right into the drink. However, defensive reinforcements are going to come out so much quicker. It's why your offense has to be that much better on assault maps. And with a couple of kills for Florida, they will deflect that attack from Atlanta.
So let's take stock. Let's take stock of our support ultimates now here. So the sound barriers are now online. That will be mirrored. Atlanta Reign now this time around, however, have the rally, so they can use that for the additional armor. Could stagger him if they can find that opening kill. Catch somebody out of position here, but it is tough.
Florida might be better served to be reactionary in this particular instance. Be reactionary with your Graviton. Use it defensively if you must. Use your support ultimates defensively. Yes, you don't need to win this fight really strong. You would like to hold on to these ultimates. Getting 1 or 2 kills without ultimates almost wins you the defense on these points.
Exactly right. There it is. Already the chance. This is just ult fiesta. Ults everywhere. Bit chaotic, but already we're seeing them wear down. Florida Mayhem doing a great job holding so far. Good stagger there on the sound barrier coming out from Chris, keeping his team alive, but the grab gets thrown in. 3 quick kills here for Atlanta Reign. Taking advantage, and they will finally make some progress.
Able to section off a part of that team, and then swinging the hammer. Fire Strike comes in, a ton of damage from the Reiner. Now it's all about playing the delay game. They get a little bit of body on the point. Nice holding of the angles here. They might just try to use displacement, and that's it. Atlanta will also complete Volskaya for our first round. Tied up 2-2 on this map.
Excellent work in the end after just a little bit of a stagger at the beginning there. Atlanta managed to keep their cool and get it together. And while Florida, they still have plenty of time in the bank. This is going to be one of those skies that feels like we can go tit for tat back and forth for a long time.
Which
both of these teams have quite a few resources.
Yeah, which has happened recently in this kind of meta. A nice charge with that burst damage in there. Nice combination. The tanks working so well together. Using the Graviton, getting the follow-up damage. Nice play there.
Solid work. Popo on your screen there. Definitely standing out in terms of his play, but countdown has begun, and now we're going to get to see what we have in store for ourselves here on the defense, at least in Florida's case. If they're going to change up the strategy or not, and it's not looking like it. Big, beefy heroes. Where's the beef? It's right there on the server.
Yeah, it sounds so weird when you say that. Please stop.
Beef.
You're the worst.
Just say it. Just say it.
I don't want to. No, I'm not going to fall for your tricks.
I'm curious about here is Atlanta. I mean, it really didn't work for them when they went the damage heavy stack, so it's looking like perhaps we'll get a bit of the big beef on their side as well.
Well, right now, Diva's up top on the top of that dome there. Just trying to scout some information. Put your Diva up there so that you can hold on defense matrix in case the team tries to counter with a sleep. There's all sorts of mind games, even in these first 10 feet of maps. But Zephyr will retreat to his team. And a whole lot of time on the clock to get some progress. We enter into Volskaya yet again.
Yes, quite a bit of work. Let's see, already holding close Florida. Not willing to give ground just yet. Quite a bit of charge being given to BQB, and so that's going to set him up to deal some of that damage. Start whittling away at the HP for Atlanta Reign. Pokemon dropping dangerously low, but he will be able to back off. Gets topped up again.
A dance of positioning here happening. A couple of the heroes fighting over the high ground. The Ryans are going to try to time their swings to get damage in and not just give charge over to the opposing Zarya. We'll see. First blood drawn. Is Zephyr able to demech Erster on the Diva?
Yeah, solid work. Dafran also getting charged up quite a bit, so he's going to start melting you. Forced back, however, by BQB. Giving ground, and this is really just the dance, but the grab gets thrown in immediately. BQB is out of the fight. The trance is in, and we will get the punish here. It's looking like Swan, will he die? Yes, he does. Goes down that lair. And already it is turning around. Atlanta catching Florida out one after another. They fall lock dominoes, and it is going to be Atlanta Reign picking up the first point.
A questionable graviton there from BQB. I think it was one of those gravitons of opportunity. You saw a chance to get a bunch of people, but you didn't know where the follow-up damage was going to come from. So you have a beautiful grab. Guys, I got 3, but guys are all over the place. No one's there to follow up the damage, and a grab that just makes people have a group hug, well, not that effective.
That brings them together, though. You know, a little bit of tea and crumpets. There you go. Self-destruct standing thrown in immediately by Zephyr. No hesitation on his side of things. BQB will find Popo, and that's the end of the push. Atlanta Reign going to back off and reset, wait for their Reinhardt to stomp his way back into the fight. Florida, I like this. Just trying to take a little bit of the poke, see if they can catch somebody out of position, but it's not going to happen. And right now, I mean, Florida, they did manage to commit. Wow, they had more ults. They had 4 ults going into this fight, and they committed 2 to this one. So Atlanta can't be feeling too poorly about the situation right now.
Atlanta's not in a great spot by themselves. Now, there is something that you can use as an economic rush, but right away, starting it off with an Earth Shatter, they clean up this fight. Don't commit anything more. You already won the fight, got 2 down. And I think Atlanta's also fine with that. Before that came down, mentioned there's a strategy called, it's been referred to as a junk rush or an eco push. The point is you make the other team use resources while you're not using resources. And in a mirror matchup like this, and compositions that are entirely equal, the more resources generally wins unless there's a mistake.
Exactly right. In this case right now, Florida have been using those ultimates, those big tank ults, preemptively to not even let Atlanta get in the door. They don't want them anywhere near the point. But now, without the shatter here, we'll see if it's going to pan out for him. Zephyr doesn't have the self-destruct either. BQB, however, has the grab coming online right now. So for this next push, he's going to be looking for Atlanta to group up so they can get the punish. Pokepo just slotting into the corner. But now it's just about who's going to flinch, who's going to make the first mistake that's going to cost him in the end.
The time is now for Atlanta. They've waited patiently on this kind of slow middling push, and now they've got all the tools that they need, and the clock is running down.
Grab gets thrown in, and there it is. Double grab, double, all the self-destruct, but Atlanta will pick up the 2 kills, and Florida Mayhem forced to retreat. Finally some progress. 1 tick picked up for Atlanta. Going to be a second as well before Florida can get back into this fight, and the rally has been used, getting Atlanta even beefier.
I love this recontest by Florida, though. They didn't just jump on 1 by 1. They put their diva up top so that everyone could come in and start using some resources. Again, defense does not have to do a whole lot to stabilize here. 1 or 2 kills could mean an end to this map.
Dafran with that charge, he had more damage than BQB, and you can tell Swan getting pinned against the wall as well. It's not going to help him at all. Takes a dive, and it is going to be Atlanta Reign finding the kill and getting the second point. 4-2. The score stands, and now it's on Florida here to get the job done.
They
on offense.
have to match the score if they want to keep playing on Volskaya. Volskaya used to be a 1-0 map, you know? It used to be a map that not everyone's finishing on. I thought Florida had a really good recontest there. It was executed pretty well. A lot of teams will panic and start switching off heroes when they have ultimates, but they seemed like they were calm. They had their diva up top. I can touch the point and contest. Everyone else come in, start using abilities, using ultimates. The notion was there, the strategy was there, the execution didn't quite follow through.
Felt like the execution on that side, at least in terms of prioritizing targets, it was on Atlanta's side. You know, getting those tanks out of it just a little bit, just far enough to cut them off and cut them down. So now we get to see what do Florida have in store for us here going into the offense on Volskaya. As far as Atlanta are concerned with the defense,
they want to run many damage-dealing heroes. Tracer,
stick
Widow.
to their guns.
Yeah, Sombra in there as well. Sombra Tracer is very good. You add a Widow into this mix that makes attention go elsewhere. Sombra Tracer is great because you just kind of dive. The Sombra's calling where to be. The Tracer is an ultra-mobile hero that can get where she needs to be. So you hack something, and then you have 2 people velociraptoring on the same target, and they're deleted.
Very clever. We'll see if it pans out. Atlanta, can they hold? Florida have got quite a bit of time to work with here. 4 minutes 50 on the clock for Florida. Already some swaps coming in here on Florida's side as well, just adjusting the strategy based on what they see. And it's looking like more of the same here from Florida. They're going to just rinse and repeat the initial strategy that they used the first time around on offense. This time, however, Urster's in the back line with the Sombra, so we'll see if he can find a target to get a hack on. He's wrapping back around to the point itself. And BQB is on a hunt. He's looking right now for Ana. He's looking for Lucio. He's trying to find a target.
He's giving them all the information they need. They might want to try to dive in on this. A lot of pressure there, and here comes the Winston on the dive.
Yeah, adjustments coming in from Atlanta, and it's already going to be him backing off. Chris finds the kill on Lair, but then we're going to have to trade 1 for 1, and with Swan out of the fight, could make things interesting here for Florida Mayhem. Masa trying to stay alive, playing the angles, but Chris is just running amok right now. Pokebo's out of the fight now, thanks to this mad Lucio. And he's even looking for the other onto Anna, not gonna find it, but they've got real progress on the point now, Florida Mayhem. Nearly 2 ticks.
They're trying to actually stall this out. I thought the Ana was just gonna reset there. They're bringing everybody back in to try to keep fighting. Masa's able to get back on the point. Here comes Akpo, but this might end up being a mistake, but no guts, no glory, trying to pull back first point. Now they're staggering it out. Dafran's still back there alive. This is taking way too long to capture.
They are really drawing it out. Will he be able to touch in time? Yes, there's the contest, and once again, the follow-up coming in from Earthstone. And there it is.
That fight was probably over 30 seconds ago, but I enjoyed watching all the stall outs. You get a couple of kills. I think they wanted to get in there because they had Pulse Bomb, and they're going to trade off this anyway. Pulse Bomb can maybe take on a couple supports. Maybe that brings an entire fight back for you. Atlanta is going to reset their composition now, going on to the triple tank, triple support comp we've seen, but they're going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball as far as ultimates go. Both EMPs come up, so this is a really interesting engagement possibility.
Pretty good spread coming in here from Atlanta, trying to perhaps dodge the EMP. Immediately, though, throw it into it. BQB gets obliterated. Dafran is there. There's 1, 2. Hagelpun gonna strike back, and Masa still staying alive, keeping his team in it. And Atlanta will be able to repulse this attack for now.
One of the funny byproducts of losing an EMP fight is you're gonna have an ultimate advantage next fight because you can't use ultimates. Thus, no one can waste ultimates, and you're going to be able to come in, usually with a resource advantage. Now, the other side of things, we talked about how good Atlanta's tracking of ultimates is. They should know they're about to get EMP'd. We might see a spread here, or Masa hiding away so he can shield everybody after their EMP.
Exactly right. He's about to get his sound barrier online here on that Lucio. BQB once again out in the open, trying to find multiples. He's gonna be able to pick up 1. Pokebo immediately eliminated, but the others on Atlanta have managed to dodge. There's the sound barrier getting thrown in, and they will hold for now. Primal's been thrown in here by Swan. He's getting melted. Gotta be careful. Looking to try and get into this back line. Looking to, well, create some modern art. Not quite gonna manage it for now, though. Florida doing a good job of keeping it together, however. But Atlanta now back up to full strength.
These sound barriers are connecting on everybody. Each man hit a 5 barrier. Now we're into the big ultimates here. Dafran chunks it away. Grav, he says, I'm a one-man wrecking crew. Gravs hits a giant shot into it. Everyone else contributed, but we like the people who show up at the kill feed. Dafran with a monster play.
And you've got 100 energy, and everybody's all grouped up nice and neat for you to melt it.
When Zarya's gun starts sounding like a angry hive of hornets, you're in trouble.
Brutal, brutal start. Well, Florida now, what do they got to work with? Not a whole lot. It's going to be BQB. He's got that EMP, but everybody else miles away from ultimates, whereas Atlanta Reign, they've got a couple to work with here. Mainly the Lighthouse.
You have to keep an eye on the clock, too. At 1:20, they can go for 1 really good push. They can try to half push this, but really 1 last good shot here. 1 push is usually about a minute, especially if it's prolonged. So a lot riding on this EMP.
And they're just going to go ahead and throw the Lighthouse in here immediately. So Coalescence shining bright, leading the way. EMP, oh, it's not even going to happen. BQB and Swan dead immediately. Atlanta Reign getting forward with all the waiting. Take the fight to Florida and win it hands down. 50 seconds on the clock now for Florida.
And Lair with a really nice ability usage there. Blocks it out from happening. However, back to the drawing board. Not quite disastrous for Florida. Next fight, they should have Transcendence available. They definitely still have that EMP available. So again, this is kind of a mind games thing between the Sombra and the support heroes on the other side. If Masa can stay away, not get EMP'd himself, he can keep his team alive with his own ultimate.
Look at his positioning right now, Masa. He's just all the way on the other side. BQB keeps coming in from the same angle. Masa just doesn't show himself at all. And there it is, gets it in, not gonna happen. Sound barrier instantly there. Pokebo dropping dangerously low, and Hagelpun will find the kill on him. Just the one, however, rally, everything getting thrown into the mix. It's chaos, and Arthur finds 2 kills. Zephyr and Swan are out of it. good, and it is not looking good for Florida.
It might just be enough. There's a rally on both sides of things, and now trying to get this going. However, reinforcements should be coming out here from Atlanta. They got the 2 early kills, just trying to touch a toe onto the point, keep progress at bay.
Poco's got the shatter right now. He gets caught again, Hago with the key kills. But Atlanta Rain now having a little bit of room to breathe with the shatter. He does find Masa in the end, just clips him. And Florida Mayhem now with a tick of progress. Trance thrown out here by Dogman just to buy time, just to stay alive. Dafran getting cut off of line of sight so he doesn't get any of the heals. And Florida Mayhem in overtime, looking very good, looking like they're gonna get the job done.
They're still gonna be able to try to stall this out. Remember what happened on first point. The stall went on forever. Not the case this time. Do you like Volskaya? Let's do some more Volskaya.
Keep it going forever, right? You're gonna get a little bit more time now, overtime now. So the onus is on Florida Mayhem. But we're tied up 4-4.
13 seconds.
It looked really good for Atlanta though for a second there.
13 seconds, pretty negligible. Yeah, even when it was looking very bad, they had a Tracer swap that was able to push Chris off the backline. There, you see it in the kill feed actually on this highlight. I thought that might turn the tide, getting some of the healing out of there. Hago, no one doubts his mechanical ability, and Zen is really fun to play when your team has the advantage and all your tanks are up front just knocking people about. No one's messing with your day. You're an Omnic truly at peace and throwing orbs at people's domes.
Yes, exactly. Just killing left and right. Just look at Jonak. Well, we did get to see a bit of that from Jonak yesterday. Fantastic start to the season for him.
You can look really good as Zen in these compositions, but I mean, these guys are the top of the world, Zen. So it takes me 3 orbs to finish someone off at 5 HP. Yeah, that's just kind of player I am. These guys, 1 orb, 150, you're dead. It's over.
Jonak half an orb. Just because. Just because.
Jonak thinks of an orb.
The guy keels over.
He thought of it once and now you're dead.
Oh, man, it's going to be interesting here as we have a minute on the clock for Florida Mayhem because they finished with less time while they were in overtime. They're going to be on offense, so the pressure is on them now to crack this defense. And Atlanta Rain just continue to run the same strategy. They are not changing it up. They're sticking to their guns here. And we'll have to see, are they going to manage to hold this time around? Third time could be the charm. Florida, though, not a whole lot of time to work with.
Scouting Symmetra in effect again. Tavik goes back on Brigitte duty. This composition, they're gonna add Swan in as the Winston. And Hagopin, he's had really high highs this game. He's played really well for Florida, trying to get them back into this series.
Well, finding Erster is big. That means that we have, exactly, BQB gets to run amok in the back line here. And Lair having to back off. That's not where he wants to be. He wants to be dealing damage. 25 seconds on the clock now for Florida Mayhem, who are taking their time, and by now Erster's worked his way back in, but he's so low on ult charge.
They're just trying to take over space and deny people from taking multiple angles. They know it's really only going to be the one push there.
Zephyr backing off to the high ground. Big QB getting caught out. There's that Lair. Finds his angle, gets the job done. Advantage for Atlanta Raid now. With BQB out of the fight, Erster's going to open it up with a kill on Swan. Hagopun caught alone. Robbed! Dafran! What a play! Doesn't let him live.
Pack control really important when you're a Tracer. Take those packs away from people. Blink all over the place. Dafran trying to go God mode right now. Starts off, gets some help from his friends.
Looking for it. Looking for it, Chris. So low, not quite gonna hit the belly. There he does. Gets it in the end. Dafran right now, just running game.
He's gonna have Pulse Bomb here in a second. Able to find Zephyr too. Dafran running wild. What a debut for him so far. Not over yet.
Been doing fantastic work, and it's gonna be good enough. Atlanta Raid. Glad that we were following Dafran there at the end because what a monster, just getting the job done. And Atlanta will hold. Only the minute on the clock for Florida. Some signs of frustration there. Tavik not looking too pleased. But now it's all about Florida doing the same.
You have to move on from it. Now you have to play the other side of things and try to do the exact same and force a draw in this situation. But man, so many things don't live up to the hype. I think Dafran has lived up to the hype so far.
Yeah, no, there's no disappointment there. Starting off with Torb on Ilios. If you missed that, go back and watch the VODs because it was sick. And well, that's it. We are getting to see that show and see him really measure up here on the biggest stage for Overwatch in the world. So, moving on. 30 seconds to countdown. Atlanta Rain. Dogman just trying to get your hopes up, Hex.
Yeah, one of the last few heroes we haven't seen played competitively in the Overwatch League so far. I believe the other's Roadhog.
Yes, oddly enough.
Yes.
Bizarrely.
Yeah, good hero, but when ultimate economy matters so much, he's kind of just a big battery for ultimates. You just kind of shoot him and you're like, oh, I have ult now.
Yeah, exactly. And if you got Dafran right now hitting everything, it's like pulse bomb in 30 seconds. Great. Let's go. Let's game. Well, 9 seconds in, and we are going to get into the thick of it here. As Atlanta Reign now are the ones who have to get some progress on this first point. And this is match point hex. This is it. Atlanta have a chance to end this series 3-0 versus Florida Mayhem.
Win condition, get 33% progress on the points. Best Florida can hope for is a draw right now.
That'll put them in a tight spot. That'll pretty much be it. So let's go. Florida moving through. Atlanta Reign now, 50 seconds on the clock. Dogman with the angle, looking for the volley, not going to find the targets, and it's going to be a full all-out combat brawl coming in for Florida Mayhem. Looking for the fight straight in on Atlanta. Atlanta will weather the storm, however.
Slow walk onto the point, taking their time, putting pressure, and you put the onus on the Florida to play defense. You have to contest the point, otherwise they're just going to walk away with it.
Already, you got him in the back line right now, getting a bit out of hand. Yep, Chris the BQB got a little bit too big for their britches, pushed a bit too far. They will get punished. Swan now trying to do the best he can to stay alive, but Dafran right now has got so much energy, and it doesn't even matter. His team capping it in the meantime, and Atlanta Reign will win the series 3-0. We still have the 4th map coming up, but Atlanta Reign will take the W. Florida Mayhem will not find the W today.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, everybody. Many Atlanta Reign fans in the house tonight to witness their team's first victory here in the Overwatch League. Florida Mayhem sent packing.
All those expansion teams coming out strong right out the gate, especially this regional rivalry. You know, you think of college football, Georgia, Florida, a whole lot of teams in that region who dislike each other greatly. So a lot of bragging rights on the line when it comes to the Overwatch League as well.
Well, just before we move on, got to shout out the Florida Mayhem fans that are here. I see some of the jerseys in the crowd, so, you know, good on them, and we'll see, you know, our Florida going to be able to pull it out. Get those wins on the board.
There are some bright spots here. I think you can build on a lot of this. I thought Hago had one of his better games there. I thought his Ana looked really good, and he's very good at the Zenyatta. So you start building around some of these core pieces, find the strategies that do work, find strategies that don't adjust. Look, it's only game one.
It's true, and it's only day one as far as these teams are concerned. We will have a sub coming in here for Atlanta Reign. These guys really working through their roster. It does seem to be the name of the game for them. Yeah. Get everybody up on stage, get as much experience as possible here so that the players have an idea of what it takes to play in front of the fans here in the stadium.
I think it's really smart management too. I mean, especially if you can pull off wins, all the better as well. But you don't want these people 6 games in being like, why aren't I playing? I'm mad, I'm upset. You can ruin a team from the inside out if you have an unhappy team. And everyone's getting playtime. Gator got on there, everyone got to play. And you get a 3-0 to boot. Trying to look for 4-0 as our next map will move on to Route 66. And in the Overwatch League, A lot of times these map scores and map differentials matter, so you want to win them all.
Exactly. Going into the end, that's what we found out, how to break out the abacus, to figure out some of these teams going into the playoffs. When there are ties, it's the maps scores that are a part of it, who won, who what. So going into it, the fourth map matters tremendously. And well, that's going to be it.
Also, these guys are competitors. You don't ever want to give up a map. You never want to lose.
That's not get swept.
That's not how you got here, by being comfortable with losing. You got here by dominating on the ladder, going through your contenders' teams, getting called up, getting a chance at the big stage here.
Sleeping 6 in a hotel room, eating gas station food, all of those things, going to LANs, yeah, all the horror shows. Yeah, that's it.
And
you always remember when you slept on the floor of a hotel room in a LAN.
I mean, appropriately enough, we're going to start off in a diner here on Route 66. I've had some diner coffee in my times coming up as a caster as well. But we'll see. Florida trying to salvage something out of this, looking for some bright spots, trying to figure something out. You don't want to get swept. No one likes a goose egg on the board.
Exactly. And, well, let's see how they're going to save it. It is going to be Florida kicking off on the offense, so they still have time to go for some roster changes if they want. I would be happy to see Tvik on the Hanzo. Just let him go ahead and have some fun here after all the Brigida play.
Route 66 has been a really fun map lately as well, going back to some of the contenders regions running 4 DPS, 5 DPS. Just run whatever you want. It's wide open. It's got some different architecture. You see a lot of switches going on. Of course, just like any map right now in Overwatch, 3 tanks, 3 supports still viable.
And there we go. Right out the gates. Florida, they get the scout. They immediately switch into it. Sorry, Tvik, no fun for you. Back to the support line. So 3 on 3. Atlanta kind of spreading out right now, not really allowing Florida through. Hagopun dropping dangerously low right out the gates, but he's got good positioning. Will be able to hang back, and they'll get topped back up again. However, his tank can't say the same. Popo will find the kill on Swan to kick things off, and hard reset. Hard reset.
I think it's because Hagopun and Tvik drop so low there that you have to devote resources to getting them back to life, and that's why Swan does not get the attention that not only does he deserve, but expects. That's why you're playing Reinhardt with the expectation, my healer's got me, I'm gonna be okay. Not the case there.
I mean, seeing some good pressure getting thrown out here from Dafran. He's already working on that grab up to 50%. Needs that energy as well. And they're going to move together here with the speed boost. Florida Mayhem trying to crack through. They just can't seem to deal any damage right now to the Rain. It's them, however, who are getting punched in the face repeatedly. And Atlanta are just going to, ask them real quick, hey, did you guys forget something? Eventually, Florida are going to figure it out. It's like forgetting your car keys at home. Like, oh, man, I got to walk all the way back over there again. God.
Well, they were trying to take the high ground. Now they just want the different positioning. Maybe the top of the hill seems to suit them. They do get an opening kill as Dogman caught out early by his effort. Dafran dangerously low. Dafran dangerously dead.
He's out of it now. That is it. So Florida finally, with 2.5 minutes on the clock, will finally start to make some progress on this payload. And this gives Atlanta Reign so much time to run back and get in position for another fight around the diner.
It's why a lot of teams prefer to fight as much as humanly possible. Make them win as many battles as possible. A lot of teams used to set up right where you see BQB right now on defense. There's like, oh, it's a natural high ground. We got a good position. Now teams just figure out the fact, well, we're usually running a Lucio. We can probably all get back there.
Yeah, and we already see it right into it. BQB trying to get it. The rally's getting thrown out for both. Grav solo, not quite getting all of the targets, but still Dafran out of the fight. No chance for him. He's gone. Chris finding that kill. Florida Mayhem now up a man. Moving their way back to the payload. Self-destruct gets thrown out. Sound barriers, however, getting used. And Swan, well, not going to get anything out of that charge. Just back and forth now. But still, Atlanta doing a good job of contesting the payload throughout all of this chaos. Florida are making very little progress.
They started off the fight really well. The late kill onto Dogman and Pokeball going down is going to allow Florida to start making some progress, but again, some delay tactics. And I feel like Florida's strategy with these solo grabs and whatnot is, look, we're not getting giant combo plays. Yeah. We're not winning fights overwhelmingly. Let's just start with an advantage and see what happens after that. So I actually don't hate the solo grab, but it's actually kind of an honor to be solo grabs. You know you're doing something right when they feel like using that resource on you and you alone.
Exactly, if you're caught out. Well, I mean, right now I'm just wondering if Dafran is feeling like he's ever going to get to play the game. He hasn't really been in any of these fights so far, as you can see from his ult charge. Not really finding that grab to counter out BQB. BQB going to have another grab online here for this next fight. He's fully charged as well. This guy's going to be able to bring so much hurt. And it's all about Atlanta now trying to dodge it as best they can. Point blank, straight in. There's the big grab. Big kills coming through here for Florida Mayhem, but Dogman with the Transcendence trying to stem the flow. It's not quite going to be enough, though, and they will get overwhelmed. Florida Mayhem will succeed in picking up the first point.
Take on the first point, and we will move to the second part of Route 66. Teams generally still running the 3 tank, 3 support composition going forward, but there's the high ground Zarya. You're gonna see a lot in this composition. One of the primary damage dealers there. Trying to charge up that ultimate. More damage, more ults, more damage, more ults. It's an everlasting cycle.
There you go, a bit of that mobility getting put on display thanks to BQB. Go and practice, guys. For all the Zarya mains out there, key mechanics. But Florida still hanging around the payload, and now it's gonna be the fight here for Atlanta Reign. They've got the ult edge. Advantage going into this. Dafran, he finally gets the grab, and he wastes no time, throws it immediately in, but we don't find any kills. Hagopun with the trance, keeping his team alive. A little bit of a delayed trance of their own here on Atlanta's side of things. No, never mind, not Dogman. It was the rally from Erster getting thrown in. Trying to stem it, but it's not gonna happen. Florida with 2 kills. Hagopun gets overwhelmed by Dako, but right now Atlanta just doing the best they can to try and stall things out, burn more valuable time off of that clock.
That might have been a little too aggressive. An attempt at a stall there goes into a very charged Zarya, gives up his mech, gives up the ghost afterwards. But still, Erster just hanging around, been annoying. Erster's done so much to stall out this card, going all the way back to first point. Florida calls for a reset just to make sure everyone is in the proper position, and they will get that payload moving yet again.
There we go, but again, Atlanta, because they're taking these fights pushed up so far, now they're gonna have time to get Dafran back in position. Dafran with the grab online. So we'll see if they get any value out of it. Are they on their way to Value Town? Atlanta Reign waiting to find out. Florida Mayhem now, however. They could, go for the self-destruct initiate. Sure enough, Zephyr gonna chuck it over the side, not gonna find any targets, but essentially forcing players out of position. Turns out it's his teammates who are out of position because they just got slammed. 2 kills for Atlanta Reign to kick off this fight.
Now it looks like a reset trying to come in right now. They're gonna stagger out as many kills as they can get, wait so that they don't have the time to group up. And now it is in good defensive position for the Atlanta Reign. With under 50 seconds left for Florida to continue their push, and they've got a ways to go. Have to win this next fight.
Exactly. Well, patience is playing out, and now key ults come online for Atlanta Reign. So Florida Mayhem, they're a bit behind in this one now. Gonna have some work to do.
If you're Dogman, you just don't want to die with your ultimate charge, because if you can keep your Lucio alive and your Brigitte alive, then they should get there.
Exactly. Chris not far away at all. Dako with the clever self-destruct right over the edge. Will not find any kills though. Hagopun with the trance, keeping his teams in it. And now Swan, he's like, right, there's a payload to push. Let's try and get just a little bit more out of it. Swan dangerously low, getting pushed into the angle. We have the focus there on Swan, and he gets killed. No Reinhardt in the fight now for Florida Mayhem. Atlanta Reign, however, everybody's still alive and kicking, and this is gonna be it. Florida, every foot counts.
A beautiful sequence of support play right there. Order of operations down to the second. There's no way you're burning through all that health. They used the rally first of all. Then they used Transcendence. When that was fading, they used Beat. How are you ever going to do enough damage to chew through all that? Great play from the trio of supports from Atlanta.
Yeah, it's not happening. And then, hey, turns out you can hurt Orion as well. It's not like hurting cats. He kind of just goes where you push him. That's what Diva found out. Managed to cut him off from the team, and then the rest will follow. So 3 points, well, 3-0 rather, for Atlanta Reign right now in the series. They have won the series, and now they're going to get their final turn on offense here on Route 66 to see if they can get, well, the first point would be a start.
Yeah, escort maps, pretty simple to understand. Who can push the thing further?
Let's see it.
Here's that last fight. Dogman was staying out of the fray for the most part too. He knew that he was the first one up. However, Erster did get his ultimate, so they decided to use that one first, give everyone the armor, then you have Transcendence. Like, Zen's not gonna die with all that armor. He stays alive, keeps his Lucio alive, Masa gets there, sound barrier. It's just beautiful play.
I mean, what you're seeing is just highlighting the whole 3-3 strategy. Just overlap, 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 and just things don't die with the tanks.
Now, if it was earlier in the match and it wasn't the last fight, maybe you want to save something and you don't use them all, but it's the last fight. Just, you can't take ultimates with you. Trust me, I've tried. I still start at 0 the next round.
Whether you chose to or not, Hex tried.
Oh, it's totally intentional.
Now we get to see what Florida are going for. Hey, we may get a little bit of a change here of strategy. We have been seeing the Bastion hold on defense. Some choose to go for the hold on the bridge, so that you get a bit of a peek early on, put some pressure on. But you can hold from the top of the diner as well.
All right, so BQB Name looks a little bit like Bob if you squint.
Hey.
Gonna be playing some Ashe. Let's do it. Let's live the lore.
I just get to see the handiwork, and already shots going out. BQB just looking for angles right now. To Vic, going to be the one to kick things off and finds the kill on Dafran. So no early progress being made here for Atlanta Reign. They're still kind of just soaking up some damage, getting there. That's the main thing, though. With all of this poke, it's only going to benefit Atlanta Reign's support heroes just because they're going to get to farm up those ultimates a little bit faster.
To all our fans who thought maybe we'd only see triple tank, triple support, I bring to you Bastion v Bastion on Route 66 in 2019.
The pirate ship trying to go up against the reinforced, fort up on the side of the hill, and right now it's looking like the pirate ship is about to set sail. 2 kills, 3, and well, they're just wiping right through Atlanta Reign. They found it.
It's just a bit unfair because Bastion's main drawback is that he doesn't have mobility. When he's in his turret mode, can't move, just hangs out, heals himself. But you put him on a moving platform, and now you've got the advantage. So you know where the other Bastion is. Dafran just chugging along. Gonna take the angle up top. Giant Orisa shield with a huge amount of uptime. Gonna try to smoke down anyone who comes through this choke point. And tragically, we don't have an Ashe on the field anymore. No problem.
Oh, nice focus fire there, however. Florida Mayhem able to just walk right over Dafran. Popo getting overwhelmed. Masa trying to do the best that he can. No wings out for him. And they're not going to use him anyway, so it is going to be a reset. But Atlanta Reign, they've made a tremendous amount of progress here, right at the limit of the first point. So you go for some changes in the roster, it looks like. Rinse and repeat.
As sad as I am to not see the Ashe get to her ultimate and see the Bob come out and do some work, it's the right call. I mean, they're not catering to just what I want to see on the screen. It's the right call to switch the composition. You don't want to just go get absolutely destroyed by the Bastion. Another fight incoming here. Swan's nearing a shatter.
Swan's going to get online. He is, once again, the target of focus. Doing a good job of hanging in here. He's got great support. Everybody from Florida trying to rally around him to keep him in this fight, but it's not going to happen. 2 kills. Chris and Swan out of it. Hagapun as well. And Atlanta Reign have done a great job of just focus firing. Despite all the support that Swan got, he still got melted in the blink of an eye.
Florida is in a position to hold after they get to the second point here. They're going to have ultimates coming online, very important ones as well.
Yes.
So they're going to have a Transcendence, they've got Graviton, they've got Self-Destruct. It might do wonders for morale if they can hit a beautifully timed combination of Graviton, Self-Destruct goes up, maybe Swan displaces the shield, and just have something to bring back an enormous fight, because so far, they haven't really won a fight in a dominating fashion.
They really need to hold on to him. Just because of this edge, this advantage right now, Atlanta not too far behind. Now Rally about to come online for them, and that could make a difference going into this fight with that additional armor. But now this is going to be the Ryan mind games. Who's going to drop their shield first? Who's going to open themselves up to the shatter? Well, chucks it out, but Popo's still here with the shield alive to make sure that his teammates will not die. Self-destruct, however, gonna nuke him! Dogman and Masa out of it.
That's the execution you want to see there. A lot of ultimates invested, but at least it paid off for you. And now they can play defensively here because support ultimates are great to play defense. And they're going to have all 3 of them.
They'll have all 3 of them, but we're going to have a few offensive ults coming online here for Atlanta Reign. So we'll see. Will it be enough for the Reign? Dafran with the grab. He knows where the Diva is. He sees the Deep Matrix in play. It's about finding that opening right now. Who can he pick up? Just got stunned, got pummeled to the face. But this is it. Finish line in sight now for Atlanta Reign, and Dafran still trying to find the angle, trying to get clever. Yep, hides it. No warning, but doesn't catch anybody with that combo. Atlanta Reign not going to find any joy.
Really nice play by Zephyr. Just his mere presence made Dafran end up tossing that one into the ground. Swan takes out his counterpart there. This might be all Florida needs to stabilize and hold on. But Dafran bringing it back himself, takes down Hago.
No support ults left here for Florida Mayhem. They've got Zephyr with the self-destruct. We have the grab as well, thrown out by BQB, but the kills are still here. Atlanta Reign, it's going to be Popo finding BQB. Dafran there to melt them down, and Atlanta Reign looking like they're going to keep it together. So close to the finish line. Zephyr not going to be able to stall it out. We will have a last-second touch, but it's not going to be enough. And the Atlanta Reign 4-0.
You could not ask for any more if you're a fan of this new expansion franchise from the South. You saw your man Dafran go absolutely nuts. The rest of the team we can't talk about enough as well. Overwatch, definitely a team game. That was the star we wanted to see come in, and that's what 0-4 looks like.
Right there, not pleased on Florida's side. Gonna be the handshakes here from Atlanta Reign. An excellent start for them. Really admirable stuff considering the fact that they were constantly changing out the roster to get their players experience, and so they didn't just have like just one roster, this is gonna be it. Changing it up, experimenting with the strats, and it ends up paying off perfectly for them. An excellent start here in the Overwatch League. And well, gotta say, Dafran, once again, excellent work from him.
Florida back to the drawing board. If you're familiar with any of these players, you know the talent is there. It's just about putting pieces together. So you go back, you review tape, what went wrong here? Did we use ultimates in the wrong way? They had some glimmers of hope, and I think if they can get the supports on the same line with the tanks that they're going to be there. There felt like a lot of times where Swan was out in no man's land, not getting the support he needs, and then you're not getting the ultimates up on time. It's just one small mistake in a triple composition leads to a million mistakes. They call it snowballing. It's snowballing for the offense, but it's also snowballing when things start going bad. They start really going bad.
You can see it in the chaos. Hard to make heads or tails of it every now and again, just because there is so much getting thrown in to these fights. Large HP targets take a while to die, but so far Atlanta Reign will succeed on their first day here. We have Mika on the floor with an interview.
Thanks, guys. I got Dafran here on the floor. Everybody has been chanting his name. We saw him pop off on Torb early, which is a great way to start off the season. You guys went 4-0, which is an even better way to start off the season. This is your first time on the Overwatch League stage, so this is a huge moment. Do you have anything you want to say to your fans?
With the help of Twitch Prime, I immediately managed to pop off.
Well, that's all we have here, so back to you guys.
Well, there we go. Everybody's just, you know, too hype in the arena. I didn't actually hear what he said, Hex. I'm disappointed.
That's all right.
There we go, Dafran. Everybody's hyping it up, so there we go.
The Dafran story is so fascinating, and if you're new to it, like, you just go back and like look at it. I'll try to give you like a brief explanation of it. Came onto the scene, dominant. Came up from flipping burgers. He's got an account called Burger Flipper. Like, this guy is the ultimate example of Path to Pro. Good on the ladder, picked up by team, took some time off, streaming monster, making all that Twitch money, and then he comes up and just dominates on his debut in the Overwatch League. Are you kidding me?
With unorthodox signature heroes as well. The Torb getting in some action finally. But we've got some highlights here to go through because this was an action-packed match. I mean, Florida Mayhem not always able to come through in these fights, but there were glimmers of what is possible. And when you've got individual plays like that, like the one we just saw from Hagafun, anything is possible.
Yeah, like I said, the talent is there. It's about putting the pieces together. In this composition, it's not necessarily all the mechanically gifted things. It's about working together as a team to the microsecond in a lot of these situations. So it's really important that they kind of shore that up. I thought it wouldn't really be much of an issue. It's mostly a Korean roster. They should not have communication issues, but obviously something went wrong here, and maybe they weren't expecting some of the strategies. But what's impressive about Atlanta is not only did they play their kind of weird DPS comps really well, and Dafran played Torb and whatever, you know, played Tracer really well, but when it was time to run what is the established most dominant meta in the league and 3 tanks, 3 supports, they played that really well as well. And if you don't have a good Zarya, you don't have anything in this league. Dafran showed off a great Zarya as well.
He looked solid today. The tanks did as well. You got to give it to the variety of tanks that Atlanta have at their disposition. That's only going to help them going forward here. You're right, it is real to focus. A lot of talk around the 3-3 strategy, and it really does seem like that is going to be the baseline for all of these teams. If you have a great 3-3, cool, move on to the next phase. If you don't, you got to stay there and you got to work on it.
You can be good in the Overwatch League with 3-3. You can only be great with 3-3 and then other stuff.
Exactly. So, fantastic start for Atlanta. That's the way it needs to be. Pretty sure that, yep, now we're going to go ahead and hop into it. The player of the match, presented by Omen by HP.
Who could it be? It's Dafran!
The Torb just melted him.
I honestly used to watch him stream Torb and be like, how